Public Works Minister Rayburn Blackmore says concerns of citizens in the northeast communities of Wesley and Marigot will soon be addressed. Residents in these communities have for a long time been questioning government's intention as relates to the safety of the roadway at the Melville Hall Cabana Junction.
And one of the things that we notice is that exactly what you're talking about, and the need, therefore, to put the proper mitigating factors in place. And we cannot use rock armor because the water there is very deep, of course. So the estimates should be completed and to look at the similar approach that we have by the fisheries development to kind of provide that kind of protection. Yes, we're aware of it, and we're seeking to intervene on that matter as quickly as possible.
Meantime, Blackmore says government intends to use the same approach adopted at the fishing landing facilities in Marigot to bring closure to the problem.
We cannot use rock armor because the water there is very deep, of course. So the estimates should be completed and to look at the similar approach that we have by the fisheries development to kind of provide that kind of protection. Yes, we're aware of it, and we're seeking to intervene on that matter as quickly as possible.
Public Works Minister Rayburn Blackmore. As part of the assessment for the nutrition course, the students of the pre-nursing program will be mounting an exhibition today. The exhibition will run from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and will be held at the Goodwill campus. The students will be displaying several aspects of nutrition.
One of the courses that the students of the pre-nursing program of the Faculty of Health Sciences of the Dominican State College does is applied nutrition. This year, at the end of the program, to show that they have acquired the necessary knowledge, the students are required to mount an exhibition on different categories of nutrition or the different type of foods that persons should take based on the particular need. The students have been divided into a number of groups, and each group will take on a particular theme. For example, persons who come to the exhibition will be able to see what's the nutritional needs of persons, children in the age group 0 to 5 years. They'll be looking at the chronic non-communicable diseases such as hypertension and diabetes. Obesity, we know that's a big problem in Dominica, so they are going to look at that, as well as the kind of diet for persons who have been infected with the HIV virus or who are suffering from AIDS. The objective of the exhibition is to allow the students to demonstrate that they have acquired sufficient knowledge and they can apply it in a practical sense. And they will be graded on it as part of their course requirements. But very importantly, we will see that they understood the information that was given over the semester.
Denise Edwards of the Ministry of Health. Edwards says the participants are expected to benefit in several ways following today's exhibition.
First of all, the viewing persons who can view will get educated. Different persons will have different interests based on their needs or the needs of persons they know. For example, if somebody viewing the exhibition is diabetic or knows somebody is diabetic, they will know, oh, this is what I should abstain from. I didn't realize that ketchup had so much sugar in it, and I'm diabetic and I'm not supposed to be taking sugar. So, they have that kind of aspect where it will serve as an educational purpose. But very importantly for the students, as I said, they are students of the pre-nursing program. That is, they are hoping shortly to commence their nursing education. And nursing is a holistic profession. They are required to meet the nutritional and other needs of the patients. They will be going out there as student nurses and then as future registered nurses to do dietary counseling, to give support system, because no matter what the condition, a very important aspect of the overall care is the nutrition, especially for the chronic diseases, those we call the lifestyle diseases, the obesity, the hypertension, the diabetes. So you have that. So we're hoping, yes, they can educate others, but for themselves, they will have that knowledge for the rest of their life. It's more than an exhibition. As an educational institution, everything we do have to have an educational component. But we think it's not more than just for the students, because nobody learns for themselves. The education they get is so that they can impact on their world around them, wherever their world may be, because we know that when they leave Dominica State College, they are equipped for wherever they go. Some of them may decide that they are no longer interested in a career in nursing. They may want to go into nutrition. They may want to go into another field, or they may want to go somewhere that has nothing to do with health.
Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences at the Dominica State College, Denise Edwards. Dominica, along with several other Caribbean islands, will celebrate the 9th edition of the Caribbean Endemic Birds Festival with a number of activities commencing today. The Caribbean's Endemic Bird Festival has been celebrated annually across the region since 2002, and this will be the 7th consecutive year that Dominica will participate in the event.
Well, one of the we sometimes call them blocks of activities. We have activities with some of the schools, so we'll actually have 6 schools where we will be doing educational activities. We go to the school, do a presentation on birds, and following that we will go out into the field with some students and go bird watching essentially. We'll also be doing an activity, well, the schools that we have identified so far for that particular activity will be the Nehemiah Comprehensive School, the Pioneer Prep School, the Granby Secondary School, the Wharton Waven School, and the Sufair Primary School. We're also having another activity with another school that is sort of an exhibition. It's a bird art exhibition where we're going to be having the students sort of create art pieces centered around the Caribbean's birds. We're also having the radio quizzes on all 4 radio stations, radio discussions. Matter of fact, we had one already on Kairi FM yesterday morning. That is on Tuesday morning, basically to promote the festival.
Forest Officer Arlington James. Mr. James says Dominica will also embark upon the Whistle-like a Bird competition for the 2nd consecutive time. General Manager of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Binwa Badwell, says regulations are in place to ensure that sea and aircraft coming to the island meets with safety requirements. Badwell says DASPA needs to safeguard acts of unlawful interferences both from the standpoint of the sea and airports.
There are regulations that govern the movement of persons and cargo within those ports, which are international obligations which we as a country have signed on to. And in relation to the seaports, it is the International Ship and Port Facility Security Code, commonly called the ISPS. And with regards to the airport, it is the Annex 17, which is the set of guidelines which is provided, which gives all the international standards and recommended practices as it relates to security in civil aviation. And so the task that we have to perform is to ensure that there is the safety and security for those persons utilizing those facilities, and that every ship, every aircraft that comes to our shores meets with those requirements, and every ship and every aircraft leaving Dominica also meets with the requirements for ensuring that it can conduct safe passage through other ports. So in effect, we are challenged in terms of we have a major contribution to play as it relates to security, both from a standpoint of the seaport and the airport. And in so doing, we have to train our persons in special skills in relation to screening passengers, screening cargo, and ensuring that those persons who utilize the port only do so in keeping with the regulations that have to be enforced.
General Manager of the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority, Binwa Badwell. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Esther Thomas, says government is working closely with the Ministry of National Security in that regard.
The Ministry of Tourism has the policy directive, has to ensure that we have the necessary policies in place to govern and guide the development of the industry. Some of it does not start initially, does not depend on us bringing it forward, but we have a role to play ensuring that we collaborate, we bring to the attention. So, for instance, matters pertaining to safety and security of visitors, we would ensure that we bring the issues to the attention of the relevant ministry. And one of the ministries that we work closely with is the Ministry of National Security, and by extension, that involves critically the police. And we ensure that they are cognizant of the necessary measures, mechanisms that must be put in place to ensure that our visitors are safe and secure when they come to the destination.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Esther Thomas.